Over the last year, I've made a conscious effort to read every single day. This has sometimes included only reading one page of a book, but sometimes upwards of 50. It has really depended on how I was feeling. I intend to run through how this habit has affected my life and then provide some sort of rationale behind it to try and explain why this is the case. So firstly, I've used reading as a method of reducing stress and anxiety within my everyday life. For this last year, I've been studying a law degree known as the Graduate Diploma in Law. This is effectively a crash course in which a 3-year degree is rolled up into one singular year. So as you can guess, it's very hectic and stressful. There are constant examinations and also just an abundance of reading which is very difficult to cover. Physical exercise was an obvious technique I used to relieve the stress. However, reading has also been instrumental in this last year. In order for me to get to the law school, it would take 40 minutes on public transport, and of course it would take this amount of time to get home also. As opposed to mindlessly scrolling through Instagram looking at photos of thick Latinas or looking at Lionel Messi dribbling compilations, I elected to read instead. I noticed that after a few months of reading, I was feeling a lot less nervous, stressed, or even anxious during a lot of the law seminars and examinations that I encountered. The thing is, you initially see the words on the page as black squiggles, then this gets transported to the temporal lobe within your brain. After this, the message then travels to the frontal lobe in your brain, as shown in the blue. Now you may be thinking, Alex, how is this linked to relieving stress? Well, it turns out the temporal lobe is actually used for emotional regulation by the body. This means that it's very much linked to how we feel about stress and anxiety and how we are able to regulate it or, suppress it. Through undertaking reading over a long period, you're able to activate your temporal lobe more often and therefore regulate your emotions. This idea has been corroborated by studies such as this. However, also studies have gone on to suggest that by reading, dementia can be offset to a certain degree. Secondly, I found that reading before bed improved my overall quality of sleep. It's common knowledge that UV light is not only detrimental to the quality of sleep that you get, but can also push back the amount of time it takes to fall asleep. Through reading as opposed to looking at my phone, I have gradually fallen asleep quicker and quicker as time has gone on. This particular study involved 991 people, half of which read before bed and the other half used their phones. Between 8 and 22% in the reading group fell asleep quicker and reported an overall improvement in the quality of their sleep. My personal experience in this regard is that I adopted reading in the long term before bed, and funnily enough my brain began to realise that once I'd read a few pages that was time for it to shut off. Therefore it allowed me to fall asleep at a much quicker rate, and consequently I would get more sleep because of that. So the final major benefit of reading, which I have experienced myself, and it may seem like a very obvious point, but it allows you to expand your knowledge on such a wide array of things. I'm just going to give a run through of some of the books that I've read in the last year in order to firstly maybe recommend them to you, but also to show you the wide variety of topics that you can cover easily. So firstly there's the book House of Trump, House of Putin, which is basically an analysis on the alleged Russian hacking into the 2016 US election. So after that I moved on to Kill a Mockingbird, which I'd read when I had been slightly younger, but I revisited it and I very strongly recommend it. It's probably the most famous classic of all time. So next we have my own personal toilet paper. In all honesty, I just wouldn't even bother, it doesn't make any sense. After that I read Moby Dick, which was very long and it certainly improved the quality of my sleep, especially during the daytime when I was reading it. And the book I'm currently reading is Humankind, A Hopeful History. Kind of a psychology book based on human nature, so yeah, very interesting. Give it a read if you can. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, it helps the channel out massively, and yeah, try and read whenever you can. Normally on the commute is a good time too, because there's nothing else to do, or just before bed. But yeah, just keep going, start small, build it up, and you'll be good to go. Thanks.